finish this in 2 weeks instead of 6 weeks. Your manager asks this to you. You would have heard n number of times from your manager. And how do you deal this situation? Your mind voice would say, no, it's impossible. But you might smile and say, yes, definitely. Or you may immediately jump and say, no, it's impossible. Or you might have said, okay, what has changed now? Let me check what can be prioritized and what practically I can do in this task or this work. Now, as a project manager, this would be the real approach. Because, see, the deadlines are not always based on the original plan, but business changes. Your client may have come back with a earlier deadline. The regulations deadline would have changed. Your management priorities would have changed, or simply the competition has released their product already. So the business changes, so your original plan may not be valid anymore, then you may have to reprioritize things. But you have already put in so much of effort, time, and resources to do your plan. Then how do you manage the situation when business priorities changes but you have to revisit your plan? Let us discuss in this video about it. Hi, I'm Rekha and I'm the Chief Trainer of Kalpataru Consulting. So when there is a request to reprioritize things or complete something within a shorter period, then how do you deal with that? So let us see how to handle this situation. 1. Don't take your 6 weeks or your original plan personally. See, you had come out with the plan of 6 weeks with the available information, assumptions, constraints, and resources. But now the business priority has changed. The other factors have changed. Then you may have to reassess your plan. Second, understand what done means. See, when your manager asks you to reprioritize or reduce the timeline, instead of jumping into action to immediately start the work or to say no, ask your manager what has changed, what has to be prioritized. Probably the entire work need not be completed, only part of the work or few functionalities has to be completed to do a demo, give a demo to the customer or to display the product in a demo event or something like that. So now the entire picture changes and it looks like it is possible to complete the work in 2 weeks. So understand whether the entire work has to be completed or only part of the work has to be completed. Third, understand the constraints. See, once now you know what has to be done, understand what are the constraints. Ask questions like, do we have the sufficient resources? Do we have the right people? What are the constraints? What are the challenges we are going to face? Is there an external dependency? Do we depend on the vendor? Or is there any approval process which will take a longer time? So identifying the constraints helps you to understand that from it's impossible to it's possible or it's impossible under the current condition. And next, look for ways to accelerate. Now, having identified the constraints, now see how you can accelerate. Probably you can escalate where the approval process is going to take a longer time. Or you can look at ways and means to do activities in parallel. Or you can approach the vendor to reprioritize and deliver certain materials little earlier. So, find out what are the alternative ways to accelerate. Fifth, don't turn yourself into the hero. See, you immediately jump into action to complete the work which may be unrealistically possible. You may be running around pillar to post, asking your team members to stretch, extend extra work hours, come on a weekend, and you may be doing all these things. Finally, you may miss some of the scope. You would have overlooked some of the risk or the quality aspects of the product, and at the end probably you may be blamed for missing things. Instead of that, try to find out what is practically possible. See, you as a project manager, it is not about working hard, but to find out a smarter way on how you can complete things in a more realistic and a practical way. Sixth, make the trade-offs visible. See, probably when you have to complete the work, a 6 weeks work to a 2 weeks work, you may have to do trade-offs where you have to reduce certain scope or compromise on the risk or the quality or increase the cost by bringing additional resources, or you have to make your team members extend their work hours and complete the work. So you have to make your trade-offs visible. Let your manager know what trade-offs you are doing so that there can be a solution which can be worked out rather than ending up with something incomplete or with a bigger problem. Number seven, give your managers option. See, you may be doing a trade-off. So let your manager know that if you have to complete, for example, you may say, if we have to complete the entire work as per the plan, we would be able to complete it in 6 weeks. Probably we can complete it in 4 weeks when we are compromising on few part of the scope and we are going to compromise few quality issues or miss few testings. Or we can complete the work in 2 weeks with reprioritizing few activities to be done later, reduce few scope, and we are going to reduce or compromise on few quality aspects. So give the options to the manager and you can work out along with the manager as what is most important to meet the business expectation. So, your role as a project manager is not to say yes or no, but to find out a path between the business expectation and the project reality. I hope you understood how to handle a situation when your schedule has to be reduced when things are reprioritized. So, let me reiterate what are the steps you can follow. One, don't take the original plan personally. Understand what done means. Third, understand the constraints. Fourth, look for ways to accelerate. Fifth, don't turn yourself into the hero. Sixth, make the trade offs visible. And the seventh, give your manager options. So these are the ways in which you can manage the situation. So this is practical project management in real workspace. Thank you.